So we're going to start with a basic warm-up. Give yourself the opportunity to kind of work on different things today. So the idea is to work on not just your, not just the doing of it, but the movement of it. Some movements you are going to be able to complete fine in the 50 seconds. Others of them you're going to have a more challenging time, so that you're going to feel like it's a little bit like too long. When it gets too long, when it gets too difficult, really just connect into the what and the why of the workout, of the movement, and the breathing. So a couple of things. One is calm down. The second thing is don't try to overdo it. And then the third one is breathe. If you're finding it difficult, can you connect into your breath a little bit more? And can you focus in on your breathing more so than the movement that you're doing, so that you can either slow down, calm down, or move more physically better? Remember, your breath is the key connection to all of your movements. First thing you do when you're born, the last thing you do before you check out. So anyway, let's get down to the ground and we'll start with a basic knees rocking. Well, we'll start out with some breathing first. Just a nice little warm-up. We'll do about a 10-minute warm-up. Sink back. You can drop your elbows if you want. The idea here is not to be overstretched, but to find length in the movement. Keep that sternum tall, the chest long, the hips back. You may feel some stretch in the glutes, maybe in the lower back. If you want to drop the head down a little bit, do so. And just begin with some breathing at first. So when we sleep, very often we're actually sleeping in our sympathetic nervous system, because we are sleeping with our mouth open. Or if you sleep with any devices, you're sleeping with forced air in, which keeps you in parasympathetic nerve, which is very hard on the digestion, the stomach, the heart, the organs to reset themselves. The only time the organs reset, really, truly, is at night, unless you physically reset the organs yourself. Begin to rock from the forearms. So remember, again, with movement connects the body to the nervous system, not just to the movements itself. It also connects then the nervous system to the organs, because the best way the organs get work is through movement. Because the breathing connects into the body, the breathing moves the organs, and not just the organs of the big ones like the liver, spleen, so on, but your skin. All that breathing is respiration. Come up on your hands, knees rocking on your hands. If you need to go and want to go a little bit deeper, go a little bit deeper. If you feel like you need to go a little bit more narrow, do that. Knees rocking elevated. So keep your knees off the ground. Plank to pike. Remember, you're lifting through the joints. You're not just pulling your butt up. You're not just dropping your chest to your thighs. Can you match your movement and your breath? It's not necessary or mandatory. It's just, can you do it? Walk your hands back towards your feet when you come out of, and roll yourself up. Come into a cross crawl. Bring your arms up. Work on your balance. Rotate around your torso. Let your head turn around, look back and behind you. Bring your hands forward and back. Take your knees up alternately. Give them a little squeeze. So you're getting some glute stretch. And 10 squats. Bring your heel back towards your hamstring and tap if you want, or you can catch it. Bring your knee up and around, rolling the hip. Watch that you don't collapse into the knee. Almost pull your chest away from the knee. Two more. Hip circles. Hip circles slow. Push out, push forward, push side, push back. Other direction, circle around. Notice one direction may be a little more clicky than the other direction. And then slow. Good. Hinges. Just push those hips back. Initiate the movement at the hip. So the butt goes back first. The head does not drop first. The head is a rider here on the hinge. Notice if you're breathing just through your mouth already, or can you control that movement into and focus the breath through the nose. Single leg, just step one leg back and hinge. Keep that torso nice and tall. And then the other leg. Step back, body's tall, hinge. And last one. Good. Roll the shoulders up, back, and around. Try not to bend the elbows. Just roll the shoulders. Bring the arms up a little bit wider. Again, you're not circling the arms, you're rolling the shoulders. Good, nice. Take your arms out a little bit wider so you're almost at a T. And then roll alternately. And then go forward, because why not, right? And then just roll them both back. Interlace your fingers, pull your shoulders back and down. Look over one shoulder, look over the other shoulder. Keep that chest long, just nod the head. Think of pinning the shoulder blades down and back, knees are bent, hips are soft. Feel that stretch from the collarbone up through the neck. These muscles get very short and tight and pull the head forward. Try to work that out. This pinning motion can help you keep the shoulders from falling forward and just being kind of loose about the whole thing. and release. All right. So first movement is going to seem simple because it is. All the movements you can do, all the movements that you've done before. Each movement is 50 seconds long. We'll have about a 10-second break, and then we'll move on to the next movement. Don't worry too much about, can I do the movement all the way through? You can. You can do it less. You can do it smaller. You can do it slower. Whatever you need to do, try to keep moving through the movement, even if you change up the pace or the space that you take up. All right. So 50 seconds. The first one we're going to do is just a regular squat. So get as low as you want to go and just keep moving for that 50 seconds. We'll start in 3, 2, and go. Nice and low, stand up. Again, it's your 50 seconds. Remember, the movement happens not just at the butt or the knees, it's also in the ankles. So feel the ankles flex and extend as well. You've got about 20 more seconds. Ten seconds. And done. Good. Let's go ahead and come to the ground. We're going to do hand to shoulder on the ground. Hand to shoulder on the ground. Starting in 3, 2, and go. Remember, hand to shoulder, the key is as little hip movement as you can. If you need to do less with your hands, like just bring them in and out, that's fine as well. Keep your thumbs kind of in. You've got about 15 seconds. And done. Get on your butt or your back. We're going to do a single leg glute bridge. Arms are going to be by your side. Make sure that you're using your heel is on the ground, your toes are up. You can hold your knee in if you want, or keep it just into your chest. Hand is on the ground to stabilize you. In 3, 2, and go. 50 seconds. Arms aren't out at a T. Make sure your hands are close to the body. You're about 20 seconds in. You've got about 10 seconds to go on this side. And done. Pause. We'll do the second side. Starting in 3, 2, and go. Lift those hips. Check in with your breath. Are you just breathing through your mouth? You've got about 20 seconds in. You've got about 15 seconds to go. 5 seconds. And done. Flip over onto one side. Forearm plank. Knees can be bent. Legs can be straight. Top foot can be in front. Top foot can be stacked. Top foot in front's a little bit more balanced. Top foot stacked, a little bit more challenging actually. Starting in, so pick your position. Starting in 3, 2, and go. Side plank, 50 seconds. It's your 50 seconds. So give yourself the opportunity to do as best you can do. Keep your hips up, inner thighs connected, and breathe. Watch that you're not hanging, but kind of lifting yourself from your armpit. You're 20 seconds in. Remember, here's where you shut down first. Your body follows what your brain decides to do. So are you in it or not in it? 15 seconds left. Five seconds. And down. Switch to the other side. If it was successful, fantastic. If you had a difficult time or it was more challenging, that's okay. That's a baseline. That's a great way for you to see where you're at. Starting again in 3, 2, and go. Remember, this side may feel different, not just because it's fatigued, but because maybe you're not as stable on your shoulder, or your hips, or your glutes. You've got about 20 seconds left. Squeeze those legs together. Breathe. About 5 seconds. And down. Nice. Come on up. So kind of a nice thing about doing basic movements is that you really see where you may have, you take time and you kind of take away. Whether you take away from your head, whether it's shoulder, back, knee, whatever it is. It's about kind of figuring out, oh yeah, I do kind of cheapen that movement a little bit by not breathing, or I feel unsuccessful after about 30 seconds. Give yourself the opportunity to dig a little deeper, to focus, do a little less in depth or in speed. Talking about speed, we're going to do a little squat jump. Not a big one, you don't have to bring your knees up. It's just bring those heels off the ground as best you can. Starting in 3, 2, and go. So it's just a little, barely a hop. We've got about 20 seconds left. Ten seconds. And done. Woo! Get a sip. Let's come back to those knees for push-ups. So we're going to do 2 different sets of push-ups. We're going to do one with knees down. I want everybody's knees down because I want the focus to really be on the arms. So even if you can do it knees off, I want you to do it knees down. We'll start in 3, 2, and go. Now a knees down push-up won't really train you exactly to do a full body push-up, but it will start kind of figuring out where you put your weight in your hands, and are you using your core at all? Better result if you want to do push-ups and get successful at them is work the angles. So do it from a counter, a chair, a bench, and the ground. About 10 seconds. Do what you can. And down. You're going to bring on your forearms, and you're just doing a shoulder saw next. So on those forearms, shoulder saw. Starting in 3, 2, oops, gotta get my timer set. Sorry, guys. And go. Feet out, just back and forth. So this is like a little baby rollout. Not that it's a bad rollout, it's just that it's not as challenging as having a roller in your hand and going forward and back. It's a lot of shoulder stability movement, core control. You got about 15 seconds. And down. Woo! Come back up. So again, we're only doing one set of everything. It's not because we can't do 3 sets of 10 or anything like that. It's to really do a full body workout. We're hitting upper back, shoulders, hips, heels, ankles, just everything, and just getting it all done. Give yourself the opportunity to just work from standing to chest to kneeling to whatever you need to do. Let's start. We're going to do a side step lunge, alternating for 50 seconds. Starting in 3, 2, and go. Try to work to keep your chest up and bring your elbow not down, don't lean. Hinge at the hips low enough so that you can bring the elbow to the knee without tipping into the knee. Bend those hips, sink back low enough to get to the knee. If you need to readjust your feet in between your steps, that's fine, so you don't want to step out too wide. Or too narrow for that matter. You got about 12 seconds. And done. Good, let's come back down. We're going to do a full plank with one leg elevated. So just keep that leg connected. The way to keep it connected the best is make sure the glute of the lifting leg is connected. If you don't contract the glute every now and again, kind of notice that, your leg gets heavy on the lower back and pulls against you. So don't keep it flexed the entire time your glute. Just try to notice if you're just letting it hang. The muscles should naturally connect as they need to. All right, let's start in 3, one leg lifted, 2, and go. One leg lifted. Your leg should be lifted, should be no higher than your heel of your stabilizing leg. We got about 10 seconds in, 20 seconds in. Can you contract that glute of the hanging leg? We got about 10 seconds left. And done. You can feel that in the hip flexor of the holding leg. You can mitigate that a little bit by moving, breathing deeper, because it'll release the diaphragm a little bit. Diaphragm and that psoas are connected. You can bend the knee of the straighter leg so you're not overlocking that knee as well. All right, let's do the other side. Again, do your best. Your leg isn't fatigued, but your brain is a little bit more fatigued. So know that your brain's going to want to get you to stop. Breathe through that. Slow the breath down if you need to. Tap your foot down and bring it right back up. Let's go in 3, 2, and go. Keep breathing. Move your free leg, move your stabilizing leg a little bit. 15 seconds. About 5 seconds. And down. Nice job, guys. Let's come back up. We're going to do speed skaters for the 50 seconds. Remember, in speed skaters, use your arm with your leg. Try to jump bigger than you think you can. Get wide pause if you can. It's like you're skating and letting your foot take you away. Starting in 3, 2, and go. So again, it doesn't have to be so fast as trying to keep the distance equal. Keep that head and chest up. Keep in that nice hinge. Try not to cross the knee across the midline. You've got about 20 seconds to go. These go a lot faster than static moves. Sort of. You've got about 8 seconds. And done. Nice. Let's come back to the ground. And you're going to do a dead bug with your head up as best you can. So your head stays up. However you want to have your legs, that's fine. Just try to keep your head up the whole time. Starting in 3, 2, and go. Again, this is a great opportunity to breathe through the nose. Watch that the arm doesn't just fall to the ground. Every movement is controlled, even though it's moving away from the midline. You've got about 15 seconds to go. And done. All right. So let's do that full body push-up now. So even if you're not used to a full body push-up, I want you to attempt it. So in the full body push-up, you can go wide and bend the elbows wide kind of to the chest. You can also turn those elbows in at any real angle towards the body. So give yourself the opportunity to play with it a little bit. So even if you try attempt 1, pause, attempt 1, pause, attempt 1, and pause. So instead of just not doing it, work towards the attempt of doing it. It's going to get you closer to doing it. All right, starting in, again, push-ups as standard as you can get. Watch that the hands aren't in front of the shoulders. They should be slightly below and maybe a little bit wider than the shoulders. Starting in 3, 2, and go. Come down and back up. Pause. Come down and back up. Pause. You can widen out the hands, do them a little differently. Come down, back up, pause. Down and back up, pause. Bring your hands back in a little bit more narrow. Down and back up, pause. Down and up, pause. You've got about 20 seconds left. And pause. Tighten up your glutes more. Tighten up those quads more. Down and up, pause. You've got 10 more seconds. Down and up, pause. If you need to take a break, take a break. And again, down and up, pause. Good. So hopefully you attempted 1 or more during that 50 seconds. Let's come back up. And we're going to do step forward lunges. So, not traveling, but keep being aware of how far away you step your front leg from your back leg, so you're not overreaching and using your back, lower back, to return you to stability or civility. All right, starting in 3, 2, and go. Drop in. See if you can get that back knee to the ground. Roll off your foot. You don't have to get that back knee to the ground. You can do a shorter movement. Hands can be on your hips if you want. These bigger movements take more work for your cardiovascular system. And so your mouth tends to want to pop open. Can you slow the movement down and breathe through your nose without panicking? Last ones. I'm going to do one more just to even it out. Good. Last one right here, guys. Back on the ground. We're going to have our hands out wide. Feet are out in front. So you can have your hands pointing outward, backward, or in. In is a lot more stretch for the forearms and wrists. Out's probably the most equalizing, but you can go backwards if you want to change up the position. So it's just a seated glute bridge. Starting in, 3, 2, and go. Lift the hips up as high as you can and down. Up and down. Up and down. It's not so much about the belly lifting, but you do want to try to come to full extension in the hips. Eyes are forward, head is forward. So the head shouldn't be dipping back as the hips come up. You got about 5 seconds. And done. Woo! Nice work, guys. Very well done. We'll do a cool down, And then you'll be ready to go. Nice thing we ended on the ground, so you can end on the ground if you'd like. Let's come back to our starting position. Whew. Get a sip. Nice work. So connecting into the full body, front, back, side, core stability, mobility, bigger movements, and smaller movements. Really challenges the body a little differently. Slide those hands out. Elbows can be down. We're going to go right back through a lot of those movements that we did to begin. But we're first going to refocus in on our breath. Just allow that breath to soften in you. Allow the space to fill into your lungs. Notice you may have more space in your belly now to breathe. Even though you're compressed against your thighs, it may feel a little bit more open. Good. Come up forward onto your forearms and just an elbows, knees rocking. Come up onto your hands. Push back to downward facing dog. Walk your hands back to your feet. Roll yourself up. Cross crawls. Why do I think cross crawls and why do we always do these things? Like brushing your teeth, baby. You're keeping those, and flossing. You're keeping those nerves flossed. You're keeping your connection from your nervous system to your musculoskeletal and system connected. 3, 2, and done. Just rotate nice and gently around your torso. Breathe. And we